There you go.
Yeah, I would have gone quicker though.
Upstream. Remember upstream. You have to get it now. It's stuck on something. Just a rock. Just stay low if you can. Maybe float on top of the water. Hey. Oh, that was good set there.
This should be super easy for you.
Oh, just slowed the thing. You see it?
No, I was trying to figure out the camera.
What are you talking about?
Trying to get like footage of where you're at right now.
Yep, just slowed the thing. Good with the camera? Hey, hey.
Got it. There's a snap.
It's okay. Set it, don't regret it. There you go. Good job. I'm proud of you. Send that one under. Yes! Oh, dude. Okay. Very good. Woo! That is an awesome brook trout, dude.
Man, I always had stories about the city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably
That
give
is
it a
a
try.
really good brook trout.
Baby, check it out, see what it's all about.
You took the top fly too, bud.
But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this
Whenever you're
place
ready,
I
dude.
used to live back home. Cause up here it's breakneck.
Put the net between your legs too. You set the
What's next? I'm tired of
set
feeling
the,
like a small fish
fishing
in
rod
a
to your
big
side.
pond. I think I'll go
Keep it
back
under the net.
where I
There you go.
came from, where everybody knows my name.
You're not gonna hurt them. Just
My
take it.
friends
There you
are
go.
still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5. Happy with the
Very
simple
good,
life.
Very good. That was a very that's a good
Yeah,
shot
I
to
ain't
be
here
proud
to
of.
try to change your mind, trying to save your time. In case you're thinking about breaking out the bucket list, girl, you can skip this funny business. 'Cause up there it's complicated and overrated. Down here everything is understated.
Yes!
It's alright by me. I got
Very cool. He might take it
everything that
again.
I need.
Take a step back.
There is breakneck, paycheck.
Well, he might take that again.
What's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. Think I'll go back where I came from. Everybody
might have been a different fish
All
too.
my
Keep
friends
trying.
are still the same. I guess the slow life
You got him. You got it.
ride like a bonfire on a cold night. Yeah, you can keep your 9 to 5, 'cause I'm happy with the simple life.
Yep.
Tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knew my name, and all my friends are still
Okay.
the same.
Get back.
I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, you
Oh,
can
wow.
keep your 9 to 5, 'cause I'm happy with the simple life. Oh Lord, you can keep your 9 to 5.
Hello, Journey on the Flyers, and welcome back to another Hunter's Challenge. This time, well, I guess I should probably explain it to those of you who might be new to the channel. Hunter's Challenge is a challenge I give you, the viewers, to do at your home with your family outside in victorious creation that we've been given by our Lord. And once you've done, if you've done it, then you can comment down below and let us know, and we'll like your comment, and there you go, you'll be outside and helps you get outside. So today's challenge for you guys is to simply just go for a hike. Go anywhere, no local park, go on one of the trails there, go see a waterfall, go somewhere, but make sure you do it with your family. Or if you don't have any family, do it with your friends. No friends, well, you can do it with yourself, or you can get a dog and do it with your dog. But that's your challenge. If you've completed it, comment down below.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Journey on the Flies upstream segment where we talk about beauty, religion, ethics, anything that has to do with a worldview and how that affects our lives. If you haven't checked out the latest video, you can check it out up here or up here, wherever that is. You get what I'm saying. We talked about worldview in the last video. What is it and who has one? And as a quick recap, it's sufficient to say that a worldview is the big picture. It's what we think about and believe and act about what we believe and think is real, ethical, good, right, wrong, beautiful in this world. Worldviews traffic in 4 major categories: origin, meaning, morality, and destiny. But before we can begin to dive into those aspects of worldview, there's something much more fundamental that I want to talk to you about today. And it's a controversial topic, unfortunately, today, and that's the topic of truth. What is truth, and can we know truth? Dr. Vince Vitelli happens to mention the irritability-ness of truth. It's one of those things that, man, it gets on your nerve because you can't escape it. You know, somebody says, well, you can't know truth. Well, is that true? Somebody says, well, that's true for you, but not for me. Well, is that true? Because if that's true for everybody, then it's false. See, truth is just one of those annoying parts of reality that we cannot escape. So what do most people do nowadays? Well, instead of getting in discussions about truth, they clam up, they shut up, or they're told to shut up, or they're clammed up by somebody else. It's no wonder that in our current state, in our culture, that nobody is seeking truth, because everybody thinks that real truth, objective truth, does not exist. It seems to be that the going mantra is that you create your own truth. And there's a lot of problems with that. I'm not going to get into those at the moment, but just to reiterate the annoyingness of truth, and by that I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek, because I love truth, right? Until it affects me. until it's confronting me. And see, that's what I'm talking about. When somebody says there's no truth, well, truth roars its annoying head. And then what are we left with? Well, a battle for who is right and who is wrong. And by a battle, that's not a bad thing. We'll talk about that in another episode that we do. So, what is truth? Well, I'm going to give you the Aristotelian definition of truth. Aristotle said that if you say that something is not and it is, that's a lie. If you say that something is and it is not, that's a lie. But if you say that something is and it is, then that's true. And if you say that something is not and it is not, then that is true. Let's leave it up to the philosophers to make something that is relatively basic to understand, or at least it used to be, make it confusing, right? Now, what he said was pretty simple, actually. To boil everything down or reduce it down to a sentence, Aristotle was saying truth is whatever corresponds to reality. We could say it in an even more simpler way. Truth is whatever is real. You say, well, this isn't real and that's not real. Well, that's yet to be discovered, but that's part of the process of seeking truth, or seeking what is true. And there's two kinds of truth that are, well, one's a lot more prevalent today than the other. The other one's the one that you bump into reality with. There's what we call objective truth, and that is truth that is grounded in the object itself. Like, for instance, we're in the wilderness right now, and you can see this pile of rocks behind me that used to be a bridge. Well, those are pile of rocks, and that's an objective truth claim, because those rocks, well, they're piled up and they're rocks. Has nothing to do with my preference or my perspective. It has everything to do with what corresponds to reality. And that corresponds that they are rocks covered in moss, piled up, what used to be the base for an old bridge. Then there's this nasty version of truth called subjective truth. And I say that it's nasty without tongue-in-cheek, because that's the going rate or the going exchange of truth today. We are told from all kinds of sources that we can make our own truth. Well, subjective truth is when the truth claim is true for the subject making that claim. So for instance, today we met a fella who has fished this creek that we're on. This creek we're on today was where I caught my first brook trout with my great-grandfather. Today, my son, as you'll see in the footage, caught his first brook trout with me on this creek. Now, he was upset that I didn't catch any. He doesn't understand yet, and it'll be years until he does when he has his own children. But what a privilege, right? Now, what's my point? My point is that the man that we met today, he says that brook trout are delicious. Now, I wouldn't know that because it's my preference to catch and release on a Class A stream like this. Now, to be honest, I don't know what the regs are, but even if it is to take what you like, or at least at a certain length and a creel limit, it's still a preference. Well, see, it's true subjectively that I catch and release, and I think that's best for the environment. But for him, it's true that he, if he wants to, take out a brook trout and chow it down on some crackers. What is objectively true about that statement is that there's brook trout in this creek and the creek is wet. I hope you see the difference between the two, because that tells us what truth is. It gives us a little bit of an idea of its nature. But can we know truth? So regardless of what the culture tells us, including Oprah Winfrey, and Oprah, I'll gladly take you out fishing if you'd like, if you ever come across this video, and we can have this discussion one-on-one without cameras. But regardless of what they tell us, truth is not something we create. Now, you can have subjective truth. You can have things that are preferences, but they are far and wide different from what is objectively true about the world. So I hope this helps you think a little bit further on the fundamentals as we begin to move along in our discussion of worldviews and understand that truth is one of those nasty things that keeps rearing its head up. So it'd be better for us to be seekers of truth rather than deniers, or worse yet, those that twist the idea that truth is something that we can create, because that means there can't be anything that is actually true. So for the next time, keep looking up, keep your lines wet, thank you so much for coming along on this journey upstream. God bless. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us for another Journey on the Fly. We really appreciate your time that you invest watching these videos. I want to first and foremost congratulate my son, because today he caught his first brook trout. And what makes that even more significant, well, you'll have to listen to and not skip over the upstream portion of this video. Really important segments that we're putting together for food for thought that go a little bit deeper and beyond just fishing, but it's a really significant stream, and the fact that he caught a brook trout here today, too, actually, and hooked into a couple others is fantastic. And we appreciate you coming along. Ask you to subscribe to this channel. We want to ask you to like this video. Leave us some comments. If you disagree with the things that I'm saying, it's completely okay, because that means you at least took it seriously. And that's really important to be taken seriously enough that somebody wants to comment back. And I'll gladly have these discussions with you, whether online or offline. So we just want to thank you, and we want to remind you, it's not about the destination. It's the journey that makes us. God bless.